In the grand tapestry of humanity, there exists an invisible thread that binds us all, a shared journey of triumphs, challenges, and the indomitable spirit that propels us forward.
Welcome to O2N Life Styled, where we unravel the stories of those who at first glance may seem worlds apart, yet share an unspoken connection, a commitment to change, growth, and the pursuit of something greater. Hello, I'm Nicole, Dyer, Griffith.
And I'm Richard Young.
And welcome to the premiere episode of O2N Life Styled,
where we unravel the stories that connect us all, a journey of growth, a journey of change, and seeking something greater.
This evening, we explore the transformative narratives of two extraordinary individuals. Richard?
Different paths, different worlds, yet a shared commitment to change.
Absolutely beautiful. Look at that smile from DJ Bravo. Very well done. DJ Bravo will burst into probably a champion dance. Yeah, there he goes. Champion, champion.
Born as a champion, what about you?
He's real good.
Just look at that. Enjoys it, doesn't he?
Our first guest is a true icon, known for his prowess both on and off the cricket pitch.
Dwayne John Bravo, or as he's more affectionately known, DJ Bravo.
From the valleys of Santa Cruz to the world stage, his journey is a mosaic of inspiring truths and hidden gems.
A cricketer, a recording artist, and a man passionate about giving back.
DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, champion, champion, champion.
Well, first of all, welcome. And 47 Production is music production studio, but not only music. You can have people who into modeling, people who want to shoot music videos, TV shows, podcasts. It's a space for creatives, and I always visioned something like that to have here in Trinidad, because I travel so much, and my vision was always to have a state-of-the-art facility for my people to be able to have access to. So the number 47 come from my cricketing shirt number. It was given to me in 2004 when I first made West Indies team, and then that number basically identify with me. So everything I do, I go with brand 47. Being 5 years old, I was always that little kid who used to tag along. It was difficult for me to join any coaching clinic at that age because I was very young. But my elder brother and my cousins and my dad used to take all the guys and the teenage boys in the village and take them to Harvard coaching clinic. Because at that age, I was already naturally, gifted better than my peers. So. But the real journey really started for me when I was 8 years old. I was spotted by a guy by the name of Charles Gillen from Queen's Park, and he saw me batting in the basketball court and introduced himself to me, and he said to my dad that I want to take this kid to Queen's Park. My parents could afford it because those days it was very costly, and Queen's Park is the premier club in the country. So my dad couldn't afford it, but Charles made it clear to my father that all I want you to do is bring him on a Sunday morning to the Brian Davis coaching clinic. And that was the only responsibility my father had, to just make sure I get there on time. And that's when my journey really took off. My dad is a big cricket fan, and obviously he grew up in the golden days at West Indies, where the likes of Sagari, Saviv, all these people was his heroes. So it was very easy for us growing up in the village to get involved in the sport, and it helps when Brad and Lara also come from the same home village as us. So for me, Lara is my hero, my childhood hero, and I always used to tell my parents that one day I would like to be like him. And not much people get the opportunity to play cricket alongside their hero, and I was fortunate enough to do that. My father raised basically 7 kids by just being a taxi driver. And you know, being a taxi driver, there's not much they can really do, especially to raise so many kids. And he just make it work. And I always, even now I tease him, I said to him, like, you know, my father never owned a bank account. He still this day, he still don't have a bank account. And I call him the happiest poor man alive because he's so happy, stress-free, and he live his life in a way where he just full of energy. And, you know, he have good friendships with so many different people. And so I take that, I watch how he live his life, and it just rub off on me. And my mom is the same thing. Like, my mom will be in this room and I will not know she's my mother. Very quiet, laid back, 2 different personalities, but very simple people. So for me, I believe that's how life should be. And it doesn't matter what I achieve. I always try to remain grounded and know that, okay, I come from nothing, but we are still humans at the end of the day. And it's important to show appreciation and then just respect people and be nice.
Now, let's journey back to the roots of Bravo, where dreams were woven in the simplicity of village life.
We'll hear from his parents and his first coach, unraveling the soulful truths behind the illustrious career of the champion.
When we reached 5, I took him to Harvard. And when I went to register him, they told me he had to be 6 years. I have my money, birth certificate, everything. They said 6 years. So I told the guy, I said, yeah, I have about 12 boys here. His brother here, he have a cousin here. They older and he just play with them. So he could handle it. No, he have to be 6 years, 6 years. I said, okay. But they had 2 lines. So I left and go in the next line. And when the next line, I gave him 6 years one time. Right? And they accept him. And they start him with wind ball. And the 3rd Sunday, they put him in the net with the cock ball. He started with Harvard.
I used to play cricket too, a little wind ball aside they call critics. What and something I can't train him because that time he's small. Oh Lord Father. Anyway the ball go, Dwayne, bat so he run behind it, bat so he run. Them ladies say, what's wrong with this little boy? What's wrong with this little boy? Not knowing. I know 2 things he liked to do was to bat and drive. They used to call him Mahal. Because sometimes he come, he had this piece of stick, he put it in the chair, he breaks, he do so ting, and he go and he drive, he come back, he pack up, he go, he look for something, then he come back again. 2 things, Mahal and the cricket.
Len called me, his father called me and said, Frank, come and see what you're doing. And he would open the bedroom door and we would see Dwayne with a bat. It's not a spoon, what he tell only a spoon, it's a bat. And here Dwayne shot grenade and we peep in through the crease of the door, we open it small and Dwayne in his bedroom doing this. And I turned to Morgan and I said, Morgan, he is destined to be the top.
My mother tell him, Dwayne, come for your food. First he like cricket. He pull the jaw, he take a spoon and ball and shot grenade, well played hands. And the day I remember telling him, you like cricket? Don't watch Vivian Richards. Watch Gordon Greenwich if you want to be a good batsman. I'm telling him that. And he kick off from there. But I see the talent in him, and I tell myself, he'll make it.
It's hard to pick one, but I would say dumpling and stew chicken with some avocado. But I also like macaroni pie, kalaloo. So anything local is my favorite. I feel the most love in India and most appreciated, definitely in India. But that also comes with its challenges because in India I'm not able to like go to the mall or go to a restaurant and do normal things like a normal person. I start to enjoy Dubai now, and but if I used to pick one country to go to, like, you know, literally buy a plane ticket and go, that country will be Jamaica. But I'll share a story that not much people know. Beenie Man is the first human being that I meet that I was starstruck over and couldn't believe I was actually meeting him. So as a kid growing up, when I was like 13, 14 years old, he was already a star. And I tried meeting him in so much different occasions and was never able to meet him. And the first time I got to meet him in 2006, I was 22 years old, and seeing him for the first time this close, it was a wow factor for me, and I couldn't believe I was actually standing next to King Beenie Man. Let's go to the beach, make way a party at the sun, girl. Take out the rock, me what they see in your tongue. But suppose, make me use the thoughts of.
Let's go to the beach, make we have a party on the sun, girl. Take off your rock, me want to see in your tongue. But suppose,
my legacy, like I always have this conversation with my kids, and when I retire, I always said that I don't want to be known as a good cricket player or a good artist, musician. I want to be remembered as a good person and someone that impacts other people's life in a positive way. And I believe music is very, very important, and it's a lot of kids gravitate towards music. And Sad Plays come about because honestly, I'm not happy with the state that Trinidad and Tobago is in at the moment. And you know, you hear sometimes you hear some type of songs and it's like, why are they even playing these type of music? You know, so. But for me personally, my personal brand, and that's how I feel. I feel like whenever I put out music there, it must inspire somebody, or it must send a message, like a real strong message. I don't just put out songs for putting out songs. And Sad Place definitely is one of my favorite songs because it really connects close to my heart.
This is a sad place. My country turned into a sad place. When I look around, it's only sad face.
It's reality what's taking place in the country now. So yeah, I'm happy that someone like yourself is aware of that song as well. And I just try to put out good content out there.
And now, shifting gears, we introduce a trailblazing beauty about to make her mark on the international stage.
Aché Abrahams, Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2023.
Aché is a voice for the voiceless, a mental health advocate, and a leading protagonist for reinventing oneself.
Our winner for the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago is Miss Maracas Valley, Aché Abrahams.
I was always, I think, a misunderstood child. I was very strange, weird, quirky, whatever word you want to use for it. And I was always creative. That's the first thing that I knew. From a young age, I would paint, I would sing, I would cut up my clothing to make new designs, like the top fashionista that I thought I was. And I wasn't afraid to be different and to be myself. That was something that changed as I got into my teenage years. I became a lot more self-conscious, and a lot more insecure, I would say, and questioning my own uniqueness and who I am as a person and my voice that I wanted to share with the world. So my true self, I would say, is always that creative, rambunctious, daring child who wants to just be different and stand out in the world. And that's something that I've gotten back to, those roots of being proud of who I am and my unique identity in this world. There's not one version of myself that I can say is just me. It's the different faces. It's the artist. It's the girl who likes to write songs to herself or spoken word to herself to comfort her and to tell her story. It's the girl who wanted to be the rebel and wanted to dare to be different. It was the girl who wanted straight A's because she thought she could be a lawyer one day or a vet one day. And then the girl who ended up in acting school because she knew she just wanted to be someone who's on stage and who looks like my community, who looks like the Caribbean region, who sounds like the Caribbean region. It's the girl who never seemed to fit into one box, and understanding that that is not, a con. It's actually what makes me strong and different and stand out.
Let's delve into the story behind the smile of Aché Abrahams.
We'll hear from her mom, Camille Selvon Abrahams, and her grandmother, Granny, Shirley Selvon, about the journey towards becoming a forward-thinking spokesperson.
Aché would always dress up with crowns, and she loved diamond tees and butterfly wings and pearls, and to me that was different to all my other children. So I knew from very, very early on that this child would want to be on stage in some way or some format, And of course, as she grew older, there was a certain grace about Aché, where even how she dealt with her social media was mindful of what her future could be. So it told me something that she was thinking about something where her visibility will be important, because she's looking at how these things would affect her in 5 years or 4 years. So that was very, very early acknowledgement that, something was there, a spark was there.
When she was growing up in Trinidad, I have this image of her going up on the hill with the fairy wings. Bedraggled fairy, we used to call her, because by that time the wings all have holes and little fairy dress that her grandmother from England sent to her, dragging behind in the mud and so on. But there she goes with the wand in her hand and the crown on her head, going up by Auntie Joan. And then Joan would call her mom and say, Aché is up here, you all know Aché is up here up the hill.
So her foundation, Invisible Scars project, is part of something that her granddad established over 15 years ago, right? Because he is a community person, and that has sort of gone down through the children and through the grandchildren. So with her foundation, we were able to get her to paint a wonderful image of her expressing herself as an artist. And we raised over $4,000 just with the painting, right? It went on auction, and we had, it's the first time the village had an auction too. And so the whole experience was really beautiful for the community, because that's where she's from. She is grounded and from the community. Never.
I never even thought, and people would say, you have pretty daughters. They're not interested in that. I said, I don't think so.
Never.
And we don't want them to be.
And it's not like we're not vain or, think we're beautiful. We feel we're okay, but it just was not something that we felt we needed to do. But the experience Aché has, I'm like, wow, if we did that, could you imagine what we would have been, because it adds so much.
Because we just sort of dismiss it. The education came first. The education, we didn't think about that. The education, educating them. She always saying that she's grateful and so on, to continue that. To me, gratitude is one of the most important thing in this life, gratitude. And in that way, don't burn your bridges at all. That way. Don't burn your bridges at all. So,
Hello, Chunks.
You interrupted me.
Did you hear us
Yes,
tell
yes.
your stories?
I heard some highlights.
Yes.
Did you hear the one with you walking in the
With the
with the wings, the
tattered
broken wings?
I always see that.
I
Yes.
think that's the best summary of my personality.
Yes,
The
a diva,
tatterness of
yeah.
the tomboy nature, but then
Yes.
the diva. Like,
Yes.
Yes, yes.
And in your wings, when I went to collect you on the hill, you were all sweaty, you were all almost purple in color because the sun was out. But
Yes.
yet you had your grace as, yes, I'm the
Yes.
princess.
As we continue peeling back the layers, we uncover the universal quest for joy and peace of mind.
What I've learned with the Invisible Scars journey, I would say, is that we can empower people, or we believe that we can empower people, but it's about inspiring them to empower themselves. And I believe my strength and my confidence and the change in my life and the change of narrative came from a shift in my perspective of myself. So for me, uniqueness is something I've learned to appreciate a lot more. And so for someone who doesn't look like me or sound like me, or who may be from the other side of the world, I want them to also understand that even if you're a polar opposite of me, you have just as much to give this world. You have just as much value as me and everyone else around you. You have a uniqueness that you have to share with the world, with people around you, with your loved ones, with strangers. You have something I believe is God-given, and we're all made uniquely different so that we could highlight that, not just to the world, but to ourselves and to the people that we love. So I would tell them to just be brave and to stand up for themselves and to own their space in this world. Don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to be heard. You have so much to give, and just believe that, because when you believe it, the world starts to believe it too.
You know, Richard, one of the key moments for me when we were having a conversation with Dwayne is when he really opened up when we were down the islands. I don't know if it's a connection with nature and the environment, and everything was just so serene, and he immediately just offered something that we would have never known before.
Yeah.
It's his encounter with Beanie Man, is it?
Yes, it was Beanie Man. I think, yeah, because they both have a quest for serenity. You know, it's something that I saw with him, because in the quiet moments off camera, he was just lying there and enjoying the ambience, and you can see that it was a much needed respite.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be really, really comfortable to find out about him, because you think of him as this celebrity, and here he is sitting there comfortably communicating with everybody, and it's like a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And you mentioned that common thread. We spoke about it in the introduction to the show, and I think the common thread between both Dwayne and Aché is their humility.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a few common threads which we would
Yeah.
have seen throughout the episode, that they both came from a village, they both love rivers, they're both passionate about their purpose, but the level of humility that each individual has maintained within themselves,
Yes.
and where they had the ability to remain grounded, is certainly
Yeah.
something that we need to shed greater light on.
Yes, I love that groundedness and that sense of balance. When we went to Santa Cruz, how we communicated with the people on the street, how we communicated with his parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's a comfort. Daddy is daddy, like almost as if he's a little boy. You know, he talked about when he has to get his food, he has to get dad's food. You know, and the same thing when we interviewed Aché, she walked on set. Straight off, we didn't even tell her. She just walked on set because she was listening to the interviews, and there was this comfortable bonding with her granny and her mom that really, really was showing a generational connection that keeps it very centered. I love that about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing starting the program with Dwayne and Aché, because we learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
We learned some implicit information and data almost on us as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people keep these nuggets hidden, you know, and we misread who they are and what they are because they are celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And in that learning, I think that's what we want to share. We want to style the way that you learn through this program.
Absolutely. And it is in keeping with the O2N ethos: create, connect, cohere, because that is essentially the pillars of what grounded our interviews, our conversations, etc. And from those conversations with both Dwayne and Aché, we were able to identify pillars of humility, groundedness, family, etc. And so in our own styling of this program, we hope that you, the audience, will be able to grasp a few of those pillars and see how it applies to your life. So, this episode transcended boundaries, inviting you to witness the transformational power of the human spirit.
Seemingly disparate lives found a common pulse in their shared pursuit of change.
And Richard, as we conclude this exploration into the lives of both Aché Abrahams and Dwayne Bravo, may you be inspired to embrace change, seek joy within, and recognize that common thread that continues to bind us all.
Thank you for joining us on O2N Life Styled.
Until next time, keep seeking that something greater.
Good night and stay inspired.